The Institute for the Magical Promotion of Alicorns looks like a city castle from the outside. It has its best years behind it and has been in need of renovation for a long time, but the owner does not get permission to do so. The gate to the entrance door is closed with chains and the people who pass by here every day hardly notice the building. Only a sidewalk and a busy road separate it from the train station. Anyone walking past it would hardly guess how beautiful it looks inside. A few windows are missing, which is why the roof area is inhabited by birds. The view is incredible. There is a magical garden with many trees, densely overgrown on a steep slope in such a way that it is difficult to reach the institute from the walkway by the river. Why should anyone try it? There is only one entrance on the back that is high and can therefore only be used by alicorns. But who are these alicorns, you may ask, and why is there an institute to promote their magical abilities? Nellie has had a horse for years, but she has been wondering for a long time what is going on with her four-legged friend from time to time. Sometimes it seems to her that she wants to communicate with her in her own way. This is not even the strangest. They ride out together almost every day. A little walk to warm up, some trotting and jumping, but recently her four-legged friend has been moving at a pace when they gallop that she almost feels like she's flying. You would think that at this speed it should be more and more difficult for her to stay on her horse, but it is as if her movements are anticipated. If she leans too far to the left or right, this is immediately compensated by a counter-movement of your four-legged friend. It should be the other way around, but the faster they go, the safer she feels on her back. Sometimes she even imagines that she can hear them in her thoughts. Don't worry, we're fast as the wind and we're getting faster and faster if you trust me. It's probably just the whizzing of the air past her ears. Sometimes the landscape passes by her so quickly that she thinks she sees pictures of herself and her horse in the near future. But somehow different, a more mature version of herself, different hair, she hasn't seen the clothes anywhere. But especially your horse is hardly recognizable. Suddenly it has a horn that protrudes from its forehead, it has something like, you can hardly call it anything else than wings. Part 1, Could there be more? Sebastian grew up in the countryside, he likes to be outside, less so in bad weather. His work has brought him to the sea, he lives in one of the Hanseatic cities near the coast, but travels a lot for work. All the more reason for him to enjoy the time off work. His dog, best friend, could not accompany him, she takes care of his family, is happy there, but he misses her very much. With her it was always so easy to meet new people. She has a good nose for interesting people and is generally very well received by the ladies, which brings its advantages. He hasn't really made friends yet, he gets to know a lot of people through his work, but he often spends his free time alone. "Hello, what are you doing here and who are you?" Ask him the pretty, somewhat dirty, young lady who tries to clean up the stable box of her horse without the hoof-bearer going to donate. "Sebastian, nice to meet you. The owner said I could look at a few horses here and that Wib would help me if I had any questions." A curious, somewhat shaggy dog comes out of the box and storms up to Sebastian and demands immediate attention in the form of cuddles. The owner of the ungulate, which is only temporarily cared for, tries to get the dog back under control, which her horse uses quite elegantly to push past her in the box and also introduce himself to Sebastian in full size. The advantage of the hay-chewing mount is that it has its rope with it and Sebastian can keep the mutinous herd in check relatively quickly. Her burgeoning anger at the manners of her four-legged friends quickly evaporates as her and Sebastian's gaze meet. "Who are your two guard dogs who greet me here so stormily?" Sebastian succeeds in throwing in, while at the same time holding the rope of the horse halter and trying to calm the dog up and down with a few strokes. She obviously takes her time rescuing from the joyful crowd and takes the opportunity to clean herself a bit with the hose, while Sebastian feels like he's getting dirtier and dirtier. "If you already have the two with you anyway, why don't you bring them into the box, I'm Wibk, and then show you the rest of the system." In tow of the animals, Sebastian finally manages to bring the two into the box and lo and behold, there is even a leash for the dog, which is trapped on the side of the stall box as decoration. What is the name of the bouncing ball of fur that almost passes for a side horse in terms of size? His name is Dog. He doesn't have a name yet. I've only had him since yesterday and I'm still looking for something suitable, Wib returns, still fiddling with the hose, looking over her shoulder. Sebastian uses the short time to put the dog on a leash and to make it clear in a friendly but firm way that hopping around is postponed until later and that you should behave a bit to be allowed to come along on the tour. The fluffy Wedler actually manages to calm down and soon understands that with a sagging leash and his eyes on Sebastian, he has the best chance of not having to stay in the box. Wib takes note of this without comment and goes forward to the other horses, who are enjoying their greens in the pasture. "What kind of horse are you looking for and how much riding experience do you have?" Dog makes him look good in front of Wib, so he can finally concentrate on the reason why he actually went to the stud farm. It is a combined riding and sanctuary where horses are both in their prime and the pensioners of equestrian sports have found a loving home. This was important to Sebastian because he is looking for a horse that he only wants to ride from time to time and that can simply spend a nice time in the stable the rest of the time, an extended sponsorship, so to speak. "Well, I would like to have a very fast horse, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a young one." Wib looks at him in surprise. "You don't have much time to ride?" "Exactly, but if I have time and the weather is nice, I would like to be on the road quickly, even if we may not be able to ride out for that long." "I think I know your type of horse," stands a little further back with the pawnees. She actually didn't exaggerate. Further back there is a beautiful light brown stallion. At least just a moment ago he was standing, now he is rolling around in the mud. There seem to be a few more flies on the way today. Paint the light brown, it is rather muddy brown, but the animal is clearly full of life. Only the ponies seem to have no understanding of why you have to get your fur so dirty without need. This one is a former racehorse. He has been to many derbies all over the country and has been quite successful. For a year now, however, he has not been able to keep up and had a small injury to his hindquarters, which has now healed completely. Sebastian pushes the leash of the dog into her hand and climbs over the fence, while the horse stands there a bit dumb and the ponies prefer to get away with it first. The nostrils flutter, but when Sebastian's hand rests on the horse's forehead, it begins to calm down and lowers its head so that the ears can also be taken into account for a crawl session. "Oh, if only I could remember again," Sebastian thinks he hears. He turns to Wib. The dog is just taking off the leash and begs him never to behave decently. "Did you say something, Wib?" "Yes, the dog should not turn everything upside down here. How can you hear that from there at all?" she replies. Astonished, Sebastian turns back to his four-legged friend. "But where do alicorns come from, you may ask? Once they were magicians, who could use magic for themselves, or others, to make your life easier and more pleasant. But some used black magic, or used their arts for dark purposes, because the temptation to use magic for the benefit of all seduced them. The High Council of Magicians of the Ministry of Magic therefore condemned some to spend most of their lives in alicorn form for at least 3 generations. Depending on how you behave, you could regain the ability to change your shape and also regain many of your powers. To prevent them from using black magic, magical abilities and memories of their loved ones have been taken from you. What they were left with were vague impressions that there was once more, that there is a potential slumbering in them that they do not know how to use, only that it is there. In order to be considered for the transformation as an alicorn, everyone had to be good at heart, so that they had the opportunity to find their way back to the right path, or to be led to it by others. In the meantime, Wibk has caught up with the 2 of them, while Dog interprets the instructions quite freely, pursues the ponies, who are not very enthusiastic about this, and a small chase across the pasture is already underway. Maybe you should have explained this to Dog a little longer. Oh, do you think? Yes. At least it couldn't have hurt, or are these racing ponies? This is at least a former racehorse English thoroughbred. If you want to go fast, this is pretty much the fastest horse we have here. Sebastian looks at the horse and seems to be convinced, while Wibk explains, I tried to ride out with him myself, but he is not easy to control and threw me off 2 times. He is not used to someone riding him, as he was only racing with a sulky. Sebastian slowly realized that this was his horse, riding it was another matter now, of course. Have the courage to trust me. Startled, Sebastian turns to Wibk while his hand lets go of the animal's forehead. You have to stop taking me by surprise like that. Wibk looks at him dumbly and replies, I didn't say anything. The ones that have forgotten the most are simple horses. Every horse has the potential to be an alicorn if it can remember its magic again. So you can see many horses in the stable and in the pasture that would love to remember all their magic. They know that they could be more, and that makes them sad from time to time, but many have been horses for so long that they have forgotten the way to their memories, or are satisfied with their lives as they are and try not to remember. Dog has already made himself comfortable on the couch, while Sebastian is still looking for a place for his jacket. Wibk whirls in the kitchen, I'm starving and have to eat something. What you have to do is take a shower first, Sebastian interjects, let's see what you have there, I'll be able to conjure up something for us to eat until you're back. Wibk admits defeat and Sebastian is confronted with a half-empty refrigerator. Whether Dog knows how to get it open and has already helped itself before. It doesn't seem like that, because since the fridge is open, he's been wagging around Sebastian again. So you are also hungry, but there is food on the shelf so that Dog can be cared for directly. Finally, there are also a few noodles, some vegetables and meat for a small snack. A fruit salad is quickly made from the fruit bowl and some yogurt before Wibk comes to the bathroom with a dog cloth on his head and fresh clothes. Riding definitely seems to keep you fit, Sebastian thinks, risking a look out of the corner of his eye so as not to be too distracted by cooking. What kind of breed is Dog? An Akita, very loyal dogs, actually come from Japan. There is a famous dog that used to pick up its owner at the train station every day and wait there. So far there is no danger that he is overly clingy, the ponies seem to interest him more, but he may just be missing a name. Sebastian pulls out his cell phone and writes to his mother because she has also spontaneously found a name for his dog. The food is not bad at all and it is always said that men can't cook, Wibk replies chewing. How do you like Stallion? His name is Stallion. Well, at least better than horse, Sebastian replies, as if on cue, a gurgling grumbling can be heard from the dog. His cell phone vibrates in his pocket and shortly afterwards Sebastian asks, how would you like Kuma? It means bear. Dog comes wagging from the couch and supports himself with both front paws on Sebastian's thigh. Well, he seems to like it. Stallion ponders, Sebastian, I might like it. If Kuma likes the name, I might like it too, Wibk replies with a smile and tilts her head a little to the side, which emphasizes her pretty smile. But how could you get your skills back, and what distinguishes an alicorn in the first place? Only a few horses have mastered morphing. This is about the voluntary transformation of your body, which gives you additional abilities. In our world, the alicorn can hide its abilities, the unicorn on its forehead, which is the magician's former wand, and the wings are not visible. But once the horse remembers how to morph to maintain the alicorn's stature, it gives him unique abilities. Every person, every animal is only one half of a greater whole, and the source of magic is friendship and connection to others. Many people spend their lives looking for the special people they call their friends and the special being with whom they have more than just friendship. Friendship in itself is magical, and the deeper that friendship goes, the more magic can come out of it. Magic is also potential, potential is also possibility. So it is important to discover both friendship and ways to use magic.